sun's out. They said it wasn't going to be sunny today, and I got in a huge argument with Mother Nature. Then I gave her a shot of tequila, and look what happened. All right, ribeye. Here we go. So you look at the ribeye. So here on the outside, if you guys can see this, that part's called the spinalis. This is actually the best part of the whole freaking ribeye. So then the inside is called the eye, hence the name ribeye. The vacío. Vacío is a Mexican-style cut. It's taken from the flap. Two different cuts. The vacío has more fat that runs through it. It also has a looser connective tissue. Ribeye, much tighter. You got something in my throat. I better do a shot of tequila. Much better. Okay. So let's season the first one up. Let's start with the ribeye. Peanut oil. Salt. How much salt do we put on, guys? A lot of fucking salt. It's a big piece of meat. At least that's what she said. Now we're going to flip it over. Salt, pepper. We don't need anything else. If we need more stuff than that, then we shouldn't be buying a primal cut. That's my whole point. If you're going to go spend a bunch of money on a piece of meat, don't sink it down in a bunch of marinade and seasonings and a bunch of other bullshit. Cook the steak and eat it, right? Hell yeah. All right. So now that it's seasoned, we're not going to let it sit. Very important. We're going to open the grill up. Put this baby right in the dead center of the heat. After I put it right in the center, you hear the sizzle, put the lid back on top. Why am I putting the lid on top? Because we want it to stay hot. So now we got a ribeye going. It's hot. It's sizzling. Let's talk about the vacío, peanut oil. Here we go. Now remember, it's a secondary cut, so what do we want to do? We got to add some flavor to it. We're going to do that by adding some of this badass seasoning to it. All right? Now we're on the grill, right? Bang. Lid back on. Somebody says, how hot should I make it when I sear my steak? As hot as you can get that bastard. Because when you sear it, we want the salt and the pepper that I made you put extra on to burn right into that mother. So, now, vacío, right? We're not gonna turn the vacío. We're gonna flip it. Make sure it's on a hot spot. Lid back on. As the ribeye starts to cook, and you can see it now. See, everybody's starting to get a little bit more smoke happening. You know why? The fat's coming out. Fat's coming out, making that shit real good. Real good. Hell yeah. Real good. Bodaciously powerful good. Now, we're going to flip the ribeye. Everybody ready? Look at that. Put the lid back on. This is driving all the guys out there nuts. You want to look at it all day? They got windows on ovens for that shit. All right, so we're going to sear the backside of this, then we're going to pull them off. We're going to rest them. This is the difference between you cooking a good steak and a really badass steak like we're going to cook today. We're going to pull both the meats off, let them sit. We want the meat to relax all the time. Wives, understand, the meat's got to rest. When everybody arrives and you're ready to eat, we're going to put it back on the grill. I'm going to get a little bit of char on this, a little bit of char on it. Then I'm going to pull it off and we're going to cut it. So the first one we're going to go back with is the vacío. Dead center. Lid back on. It's going to take us about 2 minutes. This is our appetizer, people. This is our appetizer. Lid up. Flip. Leave the lid off. All right, here we go. Taking the meat off. Look at the end of the meat. See the grain there? The grain is running this way. I'm going to cut it like this in half. Now we're going to cut against the grain. You don't want to cut straight down on this. We're going to go to a little bit of an angle. So I got my tongs. I'm going to hold the edge of the meat, right? Now I'm going to come on top of the meat and hold it like this. Don't try to pinch it. Put it right on top. And we're going to cut right underneath it. Now we get down to the serious stuff. Let's talk about the ribeye, right? Take the steak, put it on the outside now. Outside. Shut the lid. All we want to do is get this steak hot. Peel it off. Now, let's pay attention to the way we cut this. So if you're going to split a ribeye, which for me, I always suggest if you're going to cook a ribeye, you need to get a 20 ounce or better. So we cut this in half like this, lengthwise. Now we're going to trim the spinalis off. We're going to take the steak, okay, cut the half in half, and then we're going to slice this one. Notice where my tongs are. What we want to do when we cut a steak to eat it, we want to be able to pull the meat apart. See that? The way you cut it is very, very key. So then you cut it right, then you're a badass when you eat it. Right? My name is Tim Love. Thank you guys for coming out to the best grilling demo on the planet.